G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I guarantee you I will piss NRL fan bases off. We are doing the power rankings for round 3, or round 2 I should say, leading into round 3 of the NRL. So we're pretty much just going to jump straight into this. 17th for me is the Tigers. Is there much more I need to say about this? They were horrible in round 1 against the Titans. They were worse in round 2 against the Knights. I'm sorry, Tigers fans, but I think it's going to be a very long year once again unless you guys start putting your shit together. Let's be real. Next up, Raiders. Started the season 0-2. I thought they looked good in the second half against the Cowboys. They were fine against the Dolphins, but they weren't great by any means. They've been very disappointing to start the year off. I think Raiders fans might be in for a long year as well. Eels, I'm on X team. So 15, 16, and 17. Eels are 15th. Not too much to talk on with the Eels. Yes, they've had 2 tough games, playing Cronulla in round 2 and the Storm in round 1. They only lost both those games by 4 points. Is it time to worry? Definitely not. But if they lose to Manly this week, I think there might be some alarm bells going off there. All right, next up, I've got to go the Knights. Have to go the Knights in 14th. They weren't too bad on the weekend, but they weren't great either. I understand they had a lot of injuries and concussions and stuff like that, but they lost to the Warriors in round 1, and they were pretty poor in that. They lost to the Tigers in round 2. They beat the Tigers in round 2, but they weren't great. I can't put them any higher. I am sorry, but I can't put them any higher. All right. I'm going Storm at 13th. Now, they're probably going to be higher in round 3, but I can't put Storm any higher. Storm in 13th, and it's crazy to say, but they were disappointing. They were really disappointing against the Bulldogs. While the Bulldogs came out and played hard, played well, Storm were disappointing. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. In number 12, the Doggies. Bulldogs played very well against Melbourne last week. I definitely think they should be higher than Melbourne on the power rankings. They look the goods, and if they can continue that this week, then they're obviously going to climb up higher. Next up, in 11th, I've got the Cowboys. Against the Raiders, they looked amazing in the first half. They fell off in the second half. And then, this week, again, they played all right in the first half. The second half was horrible. They're going to struggle this week again. I think they will beat the Warriors, but without Scott Drinkwater, without Peter Hiku, I don't reckon they'll beat them by much. I really don't. So I know the Cowboys fans like bloody Dean Kelly are going to come at me and say that I'm a wanker or whatever you want to say. Honestly, mate, if you guys think that you should be higher than 11th, I think you need to take a good hard look at yourselves, because the start of the season has not been good. All right. Next up, I'm going to go the Titans. Now, the Titans looked phenomenal in round 1. In the first half, they looked really good against mind blank here, against the Dragons. They fell off in that second half. They were disappointing. I can't put them any higher than 9th. To be honest, like Titans and Cowboys, I could put them behind the Bulldogs, to be honest, and I'd feel happy. Like, both those sides have been disappointing to start off the year. The Titans were phenomenal last round. Round 1, sorry. Round 2, Sam Verrills, man, when he went off, they really struggled. So, yeah, Titans, I'm sorry, BKR. I'm sorry, Titans fans. I've got to put you at 10th. All right, then 9th spot. Probably going to have to go the Sharkies. Now, the Sharks got a good win against the Eels last week. They were okay against the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs, in my opinion, outplayed them quite well in round 1. The Sharks have been all right, but I still think a lot of these teams have been better. And the first of those teams is the Warriors. Warriors look good, man. They look good. They honestly did. Now, played their heart out in round 1. Got a good win against the Knights. Sorry, I'm so sniffly. Got a good win against the Knights. shout out to the Warriors because they played really well in round one. And then round two, they nearly beat the Roosters. Honestly, the Warriors, they could be different in 2023. They could be. So we'll see how they go against the Cowboys in North Queensland. But for me, the Warriors at this point in time, sitting at 8th in the pair rankings, sounds pretty spot on to me. Next up, I've got the Roosters. They're really only above the Warriors because they beat them. Like round one, they were disappointing against the Dolphins. They weren't great against the Warriors. The Warriors played very well and could have won that game. So, yeah, I think there's a few issues going on at the Roosters. I can't put them any higher than 7th. All right, in 6th spot, and this is where my own Rabbitohs fans are probably going to tell me I'm a dickhead. Look, every other team except for the Panthers that's left on here are undefeated in 2023. They're undefeated. So I can't put the Rabbitohs any higher. They played well against the Panthers. They honestly did, but I just can't put them any higher. The drop balls in round one as well. Not only round two, round one, we're like 3rd or 4th in the NRL in errors. Like, I can't put us any higher than 6th. I'm sorry, Rabbitohs fans. I'm a Rabbitohs fan myself, and I'm probably going to cop it for being biased here. But, I think we've had a better start than the Roosters. I think we've definitely had a better start than the Warriors. We've obviously had a better start than the Sharks because the Sharks lost to us. I've got to put the Rabbitohs in 6th spot there. Panthers for me in 4th. They're back to their best, in my opinion. I think they're going to be really good again next week because obviously they don't play this week due to the bye. They looked a bit flat last week against the Broncos. Obviously, we saw them lose to St. Helens. But, man, I think the Panthers are back. I reckon they're going to be tough to beat in round 4. All right, next up, I'm going with the Dragons. You guys are probably going to say, you got the Dragons number 1. You're a bloody drongo, mate. The Dragons only beat the Titans. Look, it's a bloody power ranking. They're undefeated in 2023. Yeah, they've only won one game, but what are they supposed to do? They didn't play in round 1. So I've got to go off what we've seen, and they were phenomenal last week. Ben Hunt was outstanding. Jacob Little was brilliant. Dragons for me, I think at 4 is fine. Next up, same thing, Manly. They've only played one game, but they've won one game. So playing very good. Good footy against the Bulldogs last week, and the Bulldogs beat Storm. So, take with that what you will, but Manly definitely deserve to be up in the top 3. Number 2, I've got to go the Dolphins. I've got to go Dolphins at number 2. Main reason for that, yes, they've played good quality opponents, but Raiders were 8th. Well, Raiders dropped out in the second round, I think it was last year. They were sitting at 8th. Then obviously they knocked off the Roosters, who were sitting at 6th, I believe. What they've done is nothing short of amazing, but I just can't have them at number 1 because the Broncos have knocked off 2 quality top 4 sides, and they absolutely outclassed the Cowboys last week. So I've got to give the Broncos their credit. As most of you guys would know, I'm not a massive Broncos fan. I really don't like the Broncos. If anything, the Titans and potentially now the Dolphins are my favourite Queensland-based team. Obviously, I'm Rabbitohs till I die, and there's no second team. If you guys have a second team, you shouldn't be NRL supporters. But, yeah, if I was to take a Queensland team out of the 4, I'd probably take the Titans. Broncos and Cowboys would be my least picked teams. But the Broncos, credit where credit's due. They've been amazing this year, and I think they deserve to be sitting at number 1. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up from me. Let me know what you would change down below because I know you guys are going to tell me that I've got no idea what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of you guys that agree with me too and enjoy my content. So thank you. I really appreciate you guys. You're amazing, and you're the reason I keep going. As are you guys, the ones that like to throw hate at me. You guys make me keep going too because I just love to laugh at your comments because some of you guys are just mental. But that is going to wrap it up from me though, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.